Well, we have had a fun and interesting day.
Yes, we have.
It's been quite enjoyable. It's been Valentine's Day.
Yes.
And we didn't see a massacre or anything in spite of the history of the day.
Right.
What we did do is we went to an antiques show up in Weber County, and we went to dinner at the Rainbow Gardens up there, and that was a good deal of fun.
Yes.
In spite of the fact we had to start the day off by scrubbing egg off the car because some juvenile delinquents egged the car last night.
Yeah.
So yuck. Anyway, we had a good deal of fun. So for today's show, since we didn't really tape any of that because it wouldn't make a very good show, what we're showing is Rob Rossi's steam railroad. Rob Rossi has built a 3-foot gauge, kind of old westy-timey steam railroad on his ranch in Central California. And I was up there visiting that piece of business some 5 years ago,
really
something
that
like
long
that.
ago?
Yeah, it's been a while. And I think it's actually improved a lot since then, and it was darn cool then. But let's take a look at Rob Rossi's 3-foot gauge steam railroad on his ranch in Santa Margarita, California.
Okay.
Well, our story really begins around 1775. The Spanish were building a road called El Camino Real, and it was going to connect Mexico City with San Francisco. And all along the way, they were building missions about 1 day's journey apart from each other, all the way up the road to act as way stations for travelers. One of the more impressive missions was Santa Barbara. Now, right at Santa Barbara is Goleta. Okay, fast forward 100 years, and the Southern Pacific arrives. They build this cool train station, and it is now a museum, and it's a really cool little museum. Now, these guys have an annual open house. They don't have the open house at their place. They have it further up the coast, about 150 miles, at Santa Margarita. This is because Rob Rossi has his ranch up here, and on this ranch he has built a railroad, a 3-foot gauge railroad, and he keeps expanding the darn thing. When I took these pictures, he had 2 steam engines. I understand he's got more now, and he had about 2.5 miles of 3-foot gauge track going around in a great big loop. The locomotives are really, really cool. They were built for the movies, and then he acquired them. He's got 4 passenger cars, and notice that they are from Disneyland. Disneyland declared these 4 cars surplus and put them up for sale, and Rob bought them. These are the early Disneyland cars where all the seats faced forward, and in the 1960s, when they added the Grand Canyon and Primeval World, they needed the seats to face sideways so that the passengers could see that stuff. So they got rid of these cars. Now, this has upset some of the real Disneyland fans that some part of Disneyland left Disneyland and is up on a private ranch. But hey, they can't hang on to everything, can they? And Rob's putting them to good use. And on the weekend, when Rob opens the railroad up to the public, you can go up there and ride on the stuff. So that's pretty darn cool, isn't it? The equipment here is really, really cool. Now, these 2 engines were built for the movies out of old switch engines. You can see here this one started off as an 040, and this one started off as an 060. And then pilot trucks have been added and the frames extended. Tenders have been built and big, large wooden cabs built. Long pilots and diamond stack on this one and so on, to make them look nice and old Western to be used in Western movies, which was the intent. But these days, their real purpose is massive, massive screwing around on a private railroad on a private ranch by a guy that just loves narrow gauge trains. So how cool is that? Well, as it turns out, Rob is just a really, really nice guy with a really, really cool, over-the-top hobby, railroad. I guess you could call this his model railroad, but it isn't really a model, is it? It's a full-size railroad. But it's his toy, and it's what he messes around with, and that's just incredibly cool. And he lets other people come and enjoy it, and that's just incredibly cool too. So it is our plan to get back up there with the video camera and get some video of this whole thing because, well, it's really cool.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
We're actually just turning around in a Mormon ward parking lot here.
Oh, gee.
And realizing that they're really everywhere, no matter where you go around here. They're just everywhere.
One on every corner.
One on every corner. You know, there's 2 or 3 for every Starbucks, so that's a lot. That's a lot.
And beans and burns.
Well, anyway, that's Rob Rossi's railroad, and isn't that about the coolest thing? I love it when somebody like Rob Rossi really takes the high art of screwing around to new pinnacles and new plateaus,
Right.
because it's just so darned amazing. I can't even imagine how fun it is to have his own steam railroad that
Right.
way. Just fire up an engine, you know, go drive around the ranch for a while, you know, what the heck. Well, if you haven't been over to the channel, go on over to the channel, and while you're there, subscribe. There is a link if you're not in full screen, kind of down over in here, and it's the little rocket logo that we're wearing here. Just click on that thing. It will take you to the channel. For one-stop shopping, a blue button will soon be appearing right in here that just says subscribe. You can click on that, and guess what? You will have subscribed, and you'll get all kinds of cool notifications of all the interesting, fun, wonderfully brilliant Toyman videos as they go up.
Yes.
So you want to do that. Well, I'm not sure how you found this movie on the internet. We certainly hope you didn't find us boring. And we will see you here again in 1 week with some more significant screwing around. We'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.